Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Hey guys, Metal Matt here, back again, and this is the first New Year show of the Metal Matt Show here on Metal Stream Radio. First show of the new year, great to be with you all. We got a year of more heavy metal. It's going to be very exciting to see what happens this year, you know, what tours are going to happen, what new albums, new song releases, which bands are going to retire. Who knows what's going to happen, but as long as it's heavy metal, you'll hear about it here on the Metal Matt Show. I'll be sure to update you with any news that I hear of. I think there's a few tours coming up in the new year that I've heard about so far. I think Steel Panther are doing a European tour, so look out for that. Unfortunately, I'm out in Mexico. I am going to be in the UK for a little bit later in the year, but I think I'm going to miss them very finally. I'm going to be crossing over in Spain and then arriving in the UK, and they're kind of finishing up, I think, around then in the UK anyway, and they're off to Europe, I think, or maybe Europe's before then, I don't know, but I think the British dates are around late July, so yeah, unfortunately I'm missing that, and they're the number one band I always love to see, Steel Panther. Every year I go and see them, and I'm good friends with Satchel now because I sang with him a few years ago, and we stayed in touch ever since. He's a great guy, and yeah, it would have been great to catch up with him in England, but like I say, I'm arriving too late, unfortunately. But yeah, you guys though, you can go and see the show. Be sure not to miss a Steel Panther show, because if you love the kind of 80s vibe and that kind of glam metal thing, you know, they totally pull that off, but in the modern day, and obviously they're very funny guys too, but they seriously rock, you know. They can play all their instruments very well, you know. They're not one of these bands that are just like a joke band, like I think some people assume they are. They are the real deal, and that's what I love about them, you know. Satchel, his history as a guitarist it spans, you know, very long. He's done so much stuff, even worked with Rob Halford in the Fight band, which is one of my favourite side projects of Rob's, and yeah, he's done tons of cool stuff and worked with Paul Gilbert and all sorts of things, so yeah, they're the real deal, and in the words of Steel Panther, death to all blood metal! You might know that one. So yeah, that's something I know is coming up in the new year, but I'm sure there's going to be much more. And talking of the new year, you know, if anything, I think we've got to kind of think about what is it we want to do in our life, what changes are we going to make, and you know, I think we're all going to stay metal. We can agree on that here on Metal Stream Radio, that we've all got to stay heavy metal. That's without a doubt. But you know, Steel Panther, they're one of those bands I wish I could see, so I really do recommend you seeing them. And on that note, I'm going to play a Steel Panther song in a little second. But what I'm starting with now, like I say, is a new year, and you know, the thing is, when a new year comes upon us, you know, some of us may make like our wishes for the new year. Some may have a resolution, things that you want to change, because we all get stuck doing the same things, and you know, sometimes life can be a little dull if we don't look and reflect and think, right, what changes are we going to make? So yeah, I think it's important to kind of reflect, and hopefully this new year is going to bring us some great things. I know it's going to bring us some heavy metal, that's without a doubt, but yeah, I mean, I think Youngblood as well, he's all the rage at the moment. He's just done a collaboration with Smashing Pumpkins and the Aerosmith. He did a song with them, My Only Angel, I think it was called, recently, just before the new year, with Steven Tyler and Joe Perry, of course, a proper Aerosmith collaboration. And obviously Ozzy Osbourne gave him his nod of approval. I don't really get it myself. I don't particularly see him as the real deal kind of thing, but I know there's a lot of fans out there who like him. I don't get it myself, because to me it's got that commercial vibe of a lot of kind of emo-y new metal bands that have popped up over the 2000s and above kind of thing, you know, more recent years as well. You know, there's kind of the sound of his own music doesn't seem any more, you know, creative than stuff I've heard before, out of this kind of new metalish sound bands, you know, that kind of emo-ish stuff. I'm very into the classic heavy metal, and I mean, for me, if someone's going to fly the flag for heavy metal, like the real heavy metal, you know, it wouldn't be Youngblood for me, I don't think. And you may have noticed there's been a bit of a feud between the singer of The Darkness, Justin Hawkins, and Youngblood. But I mean, Youngblood didn't particularly get involved. He has answered, I think, some of the comments that have been made about him. But yeah, I believe Justin doesn't particularly think he's the real deal. But in my personal opinion, I don't think any of them are. I was never a massive fan of The Darkness. They always seemed a bit of a spoof band. And Youngblood, I think, for me, is kind of just bringing a bit of a emo-ish thing that's been done before kind of thing. But, you know, I hold hope that maybe he'll do something really cool and creative in the future. Because, I mean, he's really being, you know, put on a pedestal now. He's got some pressure on him, and I think, you know, maybe that pressure will help him create some real genius heavy metal and rock, we can hope. But apart from that, I mean, I'm not here just to fly the flag for commercial stuff, because there are so many bands and artists which aren't gonna get that commercial break, because a lot of them don't want it, and a lot of the time the breaks aren't there these days, because you know, there isn't that much money in music and things like that, and as soon as you let labels and whatever it is, management, all that stuff get involved, you know, and they start to mold you, you know, you can become another commercial kind of product of, you know, which is kind of how I view Youngblood. I don't think he reeks originality. It's kind of an orchestrated thing like many artists. That's the kind of vibe I get, and, you know, he's in a place where he can do somebody some good, you know, somebody's making some good money somewhere, or you know, he's just another box to tick, I guess, kind of like Avril Lavigne back in the day, you know. And I really liked Avril Lavigne's first album, actually, because I was just a kid when that came out, Let It Go, or Let Go, and it was a good album, even though it was Avril Lavigne. It was about the only album I ever liked. But even that, you know, looking back now, you can see how she was the right thing at the right time. And I think a lot of these big business moguls who have no creativity but know how to make lots of money in business, you know, I think often they know how to make a product, make a successful person, you know, and present them to the right audience, you know. They know who the audience is, they know what kind of person to put in front of the audience, and I think sometimes that is what happens. And yeah, I feel that may be what Youngblood kind of is, unfortunately, you know. I wish it wasn't the case, but it does kind of feel that way. But who knows, there may be some you know, some more good things to come. Other than him, I'm trying to think who else I've seen popping up. There's someone called Eka Vandal, and she's very good. She's really creative. She did this song Molly, which that was particularly interesting. It was kind of, the riff really sticks in your head. It's like a kind of pinch harmonic riff that dominates the song, kind of like wow now 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 now, that kind of thing, and it's really neat, actually. And she's been touring with Limp Bizkit, I've noticed lately, and Fred Durst actually gets up on stage and performs with her, and at most of the shows, which is really neat. So I like that, you know. And yeah, she seems to really have something creative. She seems more authentic. I can see that she hasn't been kind of molded particularly. She's doing something unique, doing something that seems true to her. And yeah, it's hard sometimes to notice, and you know, I may be wrong, I may be right, in the words of John Lydon. I may be wrong, I may be right. Yeah, it's you know, my opinion's subjective, but this is my show. This is the Metal Matt show, so I like to be honest, give my opinion, what I think about things. But yeah, there's definitely some talent out there which isn't getting recognised as much as it should be, you know. And I don't know why. I don't know why there aren't like talent scouts on the lookout for artists these days. You know, there used to be back in the 80s and things, people looking out for people who they could make a star, I guess. But again, even that sounds a bit manufactured, but somehow it wasn't, because you listen to the 80s, you know, and there was so much creativity. I'm sure sometimes there was some moulding going on with certain artists, probably more in the pop world, but you know, the metal and stuff that come out of the 80s and early 70s, or late 70s maybe. Trying to think, I think the first Judas Priest album come out in the 70s, Rock and Roller, then Sad Wings of Destiny. I think Sad Wings of Destiny was starting to get metal, and then by the time Sin After Sin, it certainly was taking a bit of a leap. And obviously Black Sabbath with their debut album, that was very heavy. I'm not sure what year that come out. I'll check actually, but yeah, so you know, bands like that you just know were the real deal, but people did used to look out for them, because when I interviewed KK Downing, he said, you know, we used to be told there's talent scouts in the audience, you know, or they'd say, oh, so and so's in the audience from whatever records, and you know, they'd know, you know, they'd know that someone prolific and important was in the audience. But he said, I don't see that happening these days, and I gotta say I agree, you know, yeah, you just don't see it. And I'm just looking now, that first Black Sabbath album came out in 1970, so yeah, Black Sabbath certainly ahead of their time, because yeah, that was a very heavy album, that first album. So I can see how Black Sabbath are kind of the ones who are said to be the inventors of heavy metal, but I think Judas Priest definitely had a big part of it too, because Rob kind of had a different kind of voice with his screams, and you know, that personified metal. The duo, you know, the twin guitar duo of Glenn Tipton and KK Downing certainly kind of forged something new, and a lot of bands took that on, and then Rob and all of Priest brought that leather and studs image. You know, I feel that that was quite important. You know, I think that for quite a long period, especially for the classic heavy metal, you know, everyone kind of looked like that. So yeah, I think they both had a big part to play, but Tony Iommi's iconic heavy riffs, no doubt, was a huge part of everything. And yeah, what a phenomenal guitar player he is. You know, it's amazing that he lost his fingertips in those some accident working in a factory, and then he played with plastic fingertips, you know, and that kind of helped create that sound. I'm just looking at when Rock and Roller, Judas Priest's first album, came out in 1974, so Black Sabbath were a few years ahead of that. And then Sad Wings of Destiny, that came out in 1976. So yeah, Sabbath certainly brought the heaviness a few years before Priest, and Rock and Roller, I'd say, isn't a particularly metal album, but it certainly had a groove to it, and it kind of had something. It had the starts of something. Sad Wings of Destiny is where it definitely started to get heavier. Then Sin After Sin, you had songs like Diamonds and Rust, a cover of Joan Baez's Diamonds and Rust, very important song in the Priest catalogue. And they had other songs on there, trying to remember, I think Dissident Aggressor was on that one, so that was certainly a heavy song, and I feel that that would have definitely been the starts of something very heavy metal. So 1977, I think Priest definitely started bringing something new, and then Stained Class, 1978, that album, you know, that had Exciter, it had the double bass drumming style of Les Binks, fantastic. It had Better By You, Better Than Me, which obviously they went to court for that song, but it was actually a cover, I think, they did of a Spooky Tooth song. So I never understand how that went to court in the first place, seeing as it wasn't even their song, it was just a cover. But yeah, luckily that whole thing got dealt with, and it was seen how ridiculous that whole Judas Priest trial thing was. But I'm sure that was a tough time for them, you know. But going back to the album though, Stained Glass, you know, 1978, was certainly demonstrating a lot of great guitar duo work, and Rob's amazing high vocals. So yeah, I'd say that. And then into the 80s, obviously with British Steel, is where the image all come together, you know. And then my personal favourite, Screaming for Vengeance. That was extremely heavy live, you know. The album itself is kind of quite mellow, and I like the chill kind of vibe to it, but you know, on the whole, I'd say Screaming for Vengeance isn't that heavy an album, but it's got amazing songs, Electric Eye, and it was certainly metal by that point. I think Defenders of the Faith, which I think was around 1984, was when it really come into something special, and you had songs like The Sentinel, Free Will Burning, Love Bites, and yeah, by that point, Priest were right there with the leather and studs, and you know, they were looking heavy metal, they were sounding heavy metal, and yeah, without a doubt, one of the inventors of heavy metal, along with Black Sabbath, you know, and Ozzy Osbourne's iconic voice. You know, what I love with Ozzy, he kind of branched out, did his solo stuff after a while, and a lot of that wasn't even that heavy, really. Some of it was, you know, but it was very melodic, almost poppy, but his voice is quite, you know, very unique, you know. So I'm in Mexico, there's always noises, horns going, and people always trying to sell stuff. It's like Krusty the Clown going by.
Hey, hey, Krusty the Clown here. Hey, hey. Oh, I gotta go.
But yeah, there's always noises out here. But anyway, with no further ado, as I said, Steel Panther, a legendary band. Be sure to get tickets for them as they're coming to the UK. I wish I could go. I'm so mad that I can't because I'm missing them so slimly, only by a few days or something, I think. But oh well, hopefully there'll be another opportunity. But I spend my time in Mexico most of the time now, so it's not as easy out here. In England, I could see bands pretty often. Every year there'd be someone cool coming round, and I've met a lot of cool rock stars, and I've hung out with them, interviewed them, and I've seen a lot of cool shows, you know. So yeah, I'll always talk about that stuff here on Metal Stream Radio as well. Be sure to tune in every Friday and Saturday, because I'm here telling stories about people I've met, and you know, playing great songs and stuff like that, you know, a few interview clips sometimes. It's basically a chance for us to just celebrate heavy metal and enjoy it. If you're a metal fan, we're going to be playing a lot of metal and talking about a lot of metal. So yeah, anyway, like I say, with no further ado, we're going to play some Steel Panther now with Death to All But Metal. There we go, Death to All But Metal! and fantastic song. Definitely keeping the heavy metal alive with that one. And now I'm going to play something a little bit different, a little bit tranquilo, this one, but it's very cool. It's by a very creative guy, and he was said to be possibly the inventor of punk with one of his songs. He's called David Allen, and he was known for his music with the band Gong, kind of a 70s psychedelic space rock kind of group, and very cool music. But he did some solo work as well. He did a lot of different stuff, and this song's really cool. It's quite a kind of a chilled vibe, and I thought I'd play that just before we get really heavy, you know, because I know we're going to be playing some pretty heavy stuff coming up. But this is a little song called Peace Train by David Allen. So enjoy this. It's gonna be a little bit different, but I think you're gonna like it. So here we go with David Allen and Peace Train.
Well, it's easy to be an idealist, yeah, 'cause you don't have to do it right now. But if you wanna be a real realist, you'll be asking about the why and the how. I just remembered a game we could play now, and it's not a bad way to start. It's called United Imagination for the family, with the open heart. Mama plays Russia and Daddy plays the States, and Grandpa he plays China, and Africa's your mate. The kids they play the Arabs, the Ayatollah's Uncle Paul. Them superpower parents got their kids against the wall again. Your third world daughter's got a hostage or two. Better sit down and talk so we can see what we can do. Negotiate equally all the way through till it's a win for me and a win for you. Negotiate, practice on your family, tell you integrate. Practice on your husband, practice on your wife, practice on the children and save our life. Negotiate, practice on your family, tell you integrate. Practice on your husband, practice on your wife, practice on the children and save our life. Everybody's waiting for the peace train. Everybody's waiting for you. Everybody's waiting for the peace train, chopping into your space soon. Everybody's waiting for the peace train. Everybody's waiting for you. Everybody's waiting for the peace train, coming into your space soon. Well, you can blame the rich, and you can blame the government, and you can blame the church religions, 'cause they seem hell-bent on something or other. And you can blame everybody, and you can blame yourself too. And then imagine what you won't feel inspired to do, not at all. For world peace starts in the kitchen, and world peace starts in your bed. Well, peace starts in your own backyard, in your body, in your heart, in your head. Well, you can close your eyes, criticize yourself and me, and everybody near you. You could be a cynical skeptic, but people only fear ya. Maybe you judge everybody. Nudge, nudge, you're scared to be a failure. Or that if you state your needs or show your feelings, the world will surely nail ya. But if we could only trust ourselves to dig up all our fears. Imagine if we all agreed after all those long hard years. Everybody's going on the beast train, everybody's waiting for you. Everybody's going on the beast train, coming into your space soon. Everybody's waiting for the beast train, straight for a point of view. Everybody's waiting for the beast train, coming into your space soon. Let them give up their bodies for the cause. Let them gather together with their Star Wars toys and play their killer games and heroes wars. And let the people who care for this planet, who stop and listen to this song, all the peaceful people and their children have their freedom and their beauty and live long. So be a pirate for peace and sail out to sea and get under the skin of the French Navy. We gotta stop the logging and save the trees. We gotta clean up the smog so we can breathe the breeze. But no one ever really wrong, you know. No one's ever really bad. They're just doing the best they can to keep from feeling sad. Negotiate, negotiate, make fun so people can participate. Love them with your headspace, argue with your heart, practice what you're feeling and play your heart out. Negotiate, negotiate, make fun so people can participate. Love them with your headspace, argue with your heart, practice what you're feeling and play your heart out. Most folk try to negotiate only with their minds. And when at last the settlement's passed by the courts and agreements are well behind you, when backs are turned, the pain still burns with emotional high tension, and compromise turns to sabotage despite all good intention. But if we could only know our feelings, to be sensitive and real, then and only then, that win-win feelings are really real. Well, you have state your case. Some choose the courts, some choose the home, some choose the marketplace. But to negotiate without feelings when they're oh so really real, we understand how a win for everybody has to feel, but we'd only show our feelings, emotionally make us start. We'd understand how real feeling solutions open up our heart. Negotiate, negotiate, practice on the jealousy, integrate, practice on your boyfriend, practice on your girl, practice on the people and save our world. Yeah. Negotiate, negotiate, practice on your jealousy, integrate, practice on your boyfriend, practice on your girl, practice on the people and save our world. Yeah. Everybody's going on the peace train. Everybody's going for you. Everybody's going on the peace train. Coming into your space soon. Everybody's waiting for the peace train. Train for a piece of you. Everybody's waiting for the peace train. Coming into your space soon. Everybody's waiting for the peace train. Train for a piece for you. Everybody's waiting for the peace train. And coming into your space soon. Peace train. Woo woo. Peace train.
And there we have it, a Peace Train by David Allen. A little bit different. You can hear the psychedelic elements in that great glissando guitar. I thought it'd be cool to play that because it's good to see where some of the original kind of sounds of metal may have evolved from, because, you know, I mean, this is a bit different. It's a bit more psychedelic and, you know, psychedelic rock kind of vibes, because it's quite known that David Allen, with one of his songs with Gong, may have been the inventors of punk, and it's obviously bands like the Sex Pistols get the most credit for things like that, but yeah, they did a song first, Gong, which was, they weren't a punk band by any means, but they had a kind of punk element, sometimes a bit of a punk attitude, punk kind of vibe, this is a kind of different song. This is David Allen away from Gong, but I like the vibe, I like the kind of the acoustic element and the glissando guitar, quite off the wall, you know. It's kind of cool to see how things can influence different people. I believe he influenced people like David Bowie and many artists. So he's under the radar a bit because he never went into the commercial side of things. He's very real and true and just loved making music, and unfortunately he passed a few years ago, and that was a real loss because he was fantastic. You know, he's such a creative person and a great poet too. But the band Gong still continue, and I think that's what his wish was. He always wanted a band where people can come and go, and it can kind of keep going and under different different band members and things. And it's quite cool, that kind of thing, because obviously with some bands, you know, you wouldn't want to see it with any other lineup, you know, and to be fair, I mean, Gong was David Allen. He was the creative mind behind it, but he had so many great musicians that worked with him, and Steve Hillage as well, another kind of psychedelic rock legend, was involved in a lot of it, and I love that kind of vibe. You know, it's quite cool, and it's nice to hear something a bit different here on Metal Stream Radio. So I thought I'd just give you that as kind of, I think every week I'll try and throw in a little something different and introduce you to something you may not have heard before. But yeah, so that was, if you like that one, that was David Allen, Peace Train. But it's going to get a lot heavier as the show goes on. Don't fear, do not fear. So yeah, we've got lots of stuff now. In fact, we're gonna now go straight into something by Manowar. So we all know how heavy those guys are. So enjoy this. If you love some Manowar, you're gonna love this one.
Hear the pounding, army of the night.
we have Gloves of Metal by Manowar. That's a cool one. Very, very cool. Yeah, I think they're a great band, actually. That voice, you know, very, very powerful. I think that's definitely metal personified into a song there. Yeah, very, very cool. Sorry if you can hear me crunching a sweet. I got a bit of a cough at the moment. Hasn't been a good few weeks for me. You may remember I was a bit sick the other week. I'm sick again, but I'm at the end of it. So yeah, I got a gig on Tuesday out here in Mexico, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. But I hope my voice is working for it. It's yeah, we got to do 4 sets, and it's pretty demanding. And yeah, they love their rock, they love their metal out here. So we're gonna do kind of a lot of different stuff. Bit of AC/DC, bit of Kiss, bit of Judas Priest, Black Sabbath. It's really fun. Yeah, I love singing my metal. If you don't know me by now, which you should, but I'm Metal Matt, and I was given that name by Rob Halford himself, the metal god. And yeah, I wear it proudly, and I got lots of songs myself, original music, which is very heavy, like Burn the Priest, and we got Extinction. That's some of my heaviest stuff. I've got Alien Invasion, which had a cool introduction by Joey Belladonna, which you may know, the singer of Anthrax, great guy. I've had The King of Hearts, more of a rock ballad kind of thing. That was introduced by Mantis of Venom. So yeah, I've had some really cool big names introduce some of my songs. I've collaborated with Tim Ripper Owens, and yeah, plenty of stuff. So check it all out, Metal Matt, out there on all the platforms and stuff, if you don't know who I am yet. But what I also do is lots of interviews, and later on in the show I've got a good old exclusive view, a nice interview for you to hear with Alice Cooper, guitar player, who I will tell you more about a little later. But for now, we're going to play more metal, because that's what we're all about here on the channel, on the radio station, Metal Stream Radio. You know, we just want to get all the metal out there to you, play lots of metal, talk metal. So without any further ado, I'm going to play another really cool track. And we mentioned Rob Halford, the metal god, my personal favourite vocalist. Well, this is a song which I consider like Painkiller 2. It's by Halford solo, so it's his solo band, but it's really intense. Yeah, it to me is like a follow-on to Painkiller. It's a really intense song with screaming vocals, great drum playing, and great guitar playing as well. It's just a really killer song. So enjoy, guys. This is Betrayal by Halford.
Bring all the things that took you out.
Now we got a bit of Holford with In the Morning.
A few more hours, I'll turn away and won't be found. And oh, you're dreaming, your wish is falling. I'm going away to someplace I'm searching, need some time to see what I can find. I know what I was, and I can see it. I've been along this road before. I can't remember. I need an answer. And yesterday is over now. I'm chasing all away the time ties, wounded memories that tell what I feel. I lie awake and dreaming. Was I calling out? I'm falling in my dying garden. Take what you feel when you're lonely in the morning, when you're waking. I will always be with you.
So we have Holford with In the Morning, and before that was Betrayal. Two amazing songs. I love Holford's solo catalogue. Really, really amazing songs, and that shows his versatility from a screaming heavy metal song like Betrayal to a beautiful ballad. I think that's what I personally love about Rob, and so many others must also love him for, that he's got that versatility. He can sing a beautiful ballad. He's got such a great voice, and he can also scream and do that amazing stuff as well. Amazing vocalist. I think for me, he is the voice of heavy metal. He's everything that is heavy metal. He embodies heavy metal, amazing. Anyway, a minute ago I was telling you guys, that I do my own music and stuff. I thought I'd play you a song which is probably one of my most popular songs, The King of Hearts. It's a kind of ballad, rock ballad. It's got kind of definitely some metal in there. It's a kind of a metal ballad, in the likes of Judas Priest when they might do a rock ballad. That kind of vibe is what I was going for. But it's a song which I'm really proud of. I worked with a guitar player from Las Vegas called Carmine, who I believe approached me to work with me. I've had a few people who've kind of approached me online at certain points, and I've ended up working with on a regular basis, making different songs. And Carmine's one, we were really prolific for a period of making a lot of cool metal tracks, and we still do stuff to this day. We're still I probably worked with him for like 5 years now, 5 or 6 years, but on and off. We're not making stuff all the time, but now and again he'll send me a nice piece of music, and I'll write the lyrics and do the vocals. Sometimes I'll give him a few ideas what I'm going for, what kind of song I want. And this one was great because it all came together. Musically, it's amazing. His guitar playing's fantastic on this, and it really gave me inspiration to write some good lyrics and put down some good vocals. So yeah, I'm proud of this one. It's got a really varied kind of vocal. I hope you enjoy it, guys. Like I say, this one's introduced by Mantis of Venom, which is really cool as well. That's for the music video. And you can check it out everywhere, the King of Hearts Metal Matt. Be sure to get it on your streaming things and all that stuff, and enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it because it's quite a old school kind of vibe, I'd say. If you like your classic 80s kind of rock ballads and things, it's definitely got that kind of vibe in mind. So here we are with The King of Hearts by me, Metal Matt. Enjoy it. forgotten, lost in ways I did not know. When the days ended and the sun rised again, my life was still in turmoil. Time can change, things won't stay the same, but the things you do will still matter. You left me all alone. Time took me back, the King of Hearts. Time took me back, the King of Hearts. The King of broken in two. I am the star that talks to you, and your light is beginning to dim. You must never let it win. Just let the light in. Life passes you by, always thinking you will never die. No farewell, no goodbyes. You're just all alone and left to die. The last words can only be heard by you. Time took me back, and you left me all alone. No one by my side. Time took me back, but you left me all alone. Time took me back, the King of Hearts. Yes, the King of Hearts. Eternally in your memory, holding hands in the sun. Romanticized, it's all fantasy. The truth comes at the end. All you have to do is close your eyes and time took me back, and you left me all alone, thinking I'd never die. Time took me back, the King The King of Hearts. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. That's a song by me, Metal Matt. And like I say, really proud of that one. And I'm hoping later in the year to get in the studio and do another really cool song, because I work virtually quite a lot with my collaborators. I got a few collaborators in the US who, like I say, send me some music over, or I ask them to come up with a little something. And yeah, it's cool. It works really well. We've made some great music. And sometimes I compose stuff myself, but it's not my strong point, the composing, more the lyrics and the songwriting side of things, and the singing, obviously. But I have laid down a few guitar solos as well on a few songs. Cyber War with Tim Ripper Owens, I did a bit of shredding on that one. Rock the 80s, another one of my tracks. Did a guitar solo on that one. And the third, and I think the final one that I played a guitar solo on, was a little song called Unfaithfully Yours, although it's out there as Slipknot style evil death metal, I think it's called at the moment, because people are finding it a lot more with that name, and it kind of describes the genre. So it's a bit of a kind of that kind of vibe, bit Slipknot death metal kind of vibe. That one I played a guitar solo on, which is the cool thing is a lot of people have been using that on TikTok and things, and it's that part of the song that they use with my guitar solo, which is nice, because I played guitar for a long time, like as a teenager to maybe my early 20s, but then I kind of stopped with the electric guitar. I didn't do it, and I started singing, because I didn't touch a microphone till I was probably 20 something, and I didn't sing, I think the closest thing come to for me was I'd sing maybe karaoke at home sometimes, and I think a couple of times people said, "Oh, your voice is good," and I kind of thought, "Oh, maybe," and I didn't really think much of it. And then eventually I went fully into the singing. I think when I really got into Judas Priest and I loved Rob's voice so much, I think I must have started singing along to songs and things, and then thinking, I can scream a bit as well, and it evolved from there. And I kind of study the singers I like, I watch how they sing, and I pay close attention to the techniques they're using. But yeah, I've never had singing lessons or anything like that, but I kind of understand how people sing, and I guess that helps me. I've done a few videos of how to sing like different artists like Rob Halford and Marilyn Manson and Bon Jovi and loads of different people on my YouTube channel, and that has been quite successful as well, which is nice to see. I'm glad it helps. I just try and kind of explain how they sing. I listen to them, and I kind of say how I would approach trying to sing like them. And yeah, a lot of people have found it useful. I think Morrissey was another one people found quite useful. So yeah, I probably should do some more videos like that, but I've done most rock and metal singers now, so I don't really have any other ideas at the moment. But I'm sure into the future I might do some more videos like that. But for now, guys, here on Metal Stream Radio, I have a surprise. We have a special guest, Ryan Roxie, who joined me a while ago, and I'm interviewing him here. He is the guitarist of Alice Cooper. He tours with Alice Cooper in his touring band for the past probably 10 years or more. He's played on great albums like Brutal Planet, Dragon Town, and his debut was on the Fistful of Alice album, which is a great live album recorded in Cabo Wabo. That's Cabo San Lucas, and it's a fantastic album, great live album, and it was his kind of introduction into the Alice Cooper band as well, which he tells me on this interview a bit more about that, which is quite crazy. It was a big way to start, and it's such an iconic album. If you're an Alice Cooper fan, you'll know that's a must have in your catalogue. It's a great live album, with appearances by people like Rob Zombie, among others, and yeah, I love it. There's a great song on there called Is Anyone Home, which is the only studio track on the album. It was an extra song, but the rest of the album is all live songs like Desperado and Feed My Frankenstein and Only Women Bleed, but great renditions of it. And yeah, Ryan, if you know it, he's an amazing guitar player, as I'm sure many of you know. He's he's just got such a great style, and he's really cool. And yeah, I had a great time chatting with him. So here you go, exclusive for you here on Metal Stream Radio. I thought I'd share this interview I did. So enjoy, folks. This is me chatting with Ryan Roxie. And yeah, I'm here every Friday and Saturday on Metal Stream Radio. Check my social media for all the times, which I'll let you all know when the show goes out every week. And yeah, I'll see you there. But it is the same times every week. It's I think 8 p.m. on the Fridays, and yeah, check the social media for the exact details. That's UK time, by the way, but as I'm in Mexico, I give it out in different time zones, give you a few options for wherever you are around the world. But I'm here every Friday and Saturday, guaranteed. So yeah, if you want your weekly dose of heavy metal, tune in, and yeah, I'll see you next time. But for now, we've got some Ryan Roxie, so enjoy this, folks. Here we go.
Metal Matt, Alice Cooper here. Good name, by the way.
Hello. Right, today I'm here and I'm very lucky to have a very special guest today from Alice Cooper's touring band, and also recorded many albums with Alice, Ryan Roxie. It's great to have you on here. As a big Cooper fan myself, it's really cool just to chat with you today. And you know, I've met you once before, very briefly in Swansea, when you were playing there with Alice. But
Nice.
This is my first time having a proper chat with you. So yeah, really cool to.
Well, sorry, I didn't wear my Swansea T-shirt. I only have my New York T-shirt today, but the Swansea one is in the laundry because, you know.
That's never mind. Everyone loves Swansea. Honestly, it's such a beautiful place.
We were just talking about how we're both chasing the sun. I look like I have almost too much sun going on right now. I'm in Cape Town, South Africa, soaking it up because it still is summer here, and the weather is great. And well, we're looking forward to heading back to Europe and the States when it becomes summer over there again. So it's kind of a great schedule with Alice Cooper these days. He tours mostly in the summertime, and then when I get off of work, I come down here to South Africa where it's summer. So constantly chasing that sun.
Perfect. I know the feeling. I'm here in Cancun, although it could be England. It doesn't look sort of too Cancun-y here.
Look at us, a couple guys, just, you know, from I lived in Sweden for a long time. You lived in England, Swansea. So, I mean, just look at us. You know,
That's it.
I'll bet you neither of us have anything on underneath these below these shirts.
That's
Definitely
it.
short pants. I definitely have
That's it.
short pants on.
Pretty much, yeah, honestly. The only
Some
reason I put a T-shirt on is because I'm interviewing you today. Usually it's just I'm from Bristol myself, but I've Swansea and all Wales and all that is very close to home. So I've seen you guys perform a lot. I saw you in Bristol. In fact, Alice was my first ever gig, believe it or not. But you weren't in the band at that time. It was Orianthe and Tommy and those guys. But you come along a little bit later again. But I know you were there.
Yeah. I joined
Right.
literally like the next year. I rejoined the band because I was in Alice from 1996 up until about 2006, and then I took a little hiatus. I lived in Sweden and watched my kids grow up, which I'm very lucky to do. When they don't remember, but I remember, and those were very special years. And then around 2012, I got asked to be back in the band, and that's when you started coming to the shows. And I can see with the T-shirt that you're wearing right now, the Judas Priest T-shirt, that's good foreshadowing because Alice Cooper and Judas Priest have some shows, and I think the O2 Arena is lined up with Judas Priest later on this year.
Yeah, I was going to get onto that. As a big Priest fan, you know, I was so excited to see it. It's a shame I've left for Mexico now. I'm living here primarily, so I'm missing all these gigs, which I'd love to. When I was in England, I'd wait for these gigs to come around every year, but that is like the perfect lineup, Alice and Priest. I can't think, for me, you've always been my two top groups, you know, and I grew up with Alice, and obviously your one of your first albums you played on was a live album, the Fistful of Alice, which I think being in Mexico is quite relevant. I think it was Cabo San Lucas, was it?
It was Cabo San Lucas. It wasn't just the first album. It was the first show I've ever played with Alice Cooper. So it's the first time ever stepping on stage with Alice Cooper. It was filmed for VH1 as a concert filming, and then we did the live album at the same time, and then we had all these special guests like Rob Zombie, Sammy Hagar, Slash was up there as well. So yeah, no pressure at all for your first gig with Alice Cooper.
No, that is crazy, and I mean, it sounds amazing. I mean, you must be proud to have been on that album. I loved, obviously, like you say, Rob Zombie. He was on "Feed My Frankenstein," if I remember rightly, and yeah, it was my first time hearing Rob Zombie as well. Actually, I grew up on the Coop. My dad used to play it all the time. I've listened to all the albums, growing up. He's probably the reason I'm a singer myself, because I loved Alice. My dad just played that stuff all the time.
Well, I'm glad he. I always chalk up Alice Cooper fans as a result of either really good parenting or really bad parenting. Either way, somehow you came to us, and I appreciate it, and the band appreciates it, and we're still rocking and rolling to this day. I like talking about that album, Fistful of Alice, because that we didn't even have a bass player the 3 days before the actual filming of that, because they switched up bass players at the last minute. Greg Smith was supposed to be the bass player, and then something happened where he couldn't do it, and then Todd Jensen came in, and that was the first time of meeting Todd. Todd Jensen currently plays in bass in Journey, and he just came in and nailed it, and I played next to him for the next couple of years on stage right. Just friggin' loud. I'll tell you that much. Todd Jensen was loud on bass guitar. It's the loudest bass, even louder than Chuck Garrick, to be honest with you. And yeah, he just had that classic P bass and Ampeg setup, full amps. That's when the bands were all using. That's when all the bands. There was no such thing as in-ear monitors. They were just side fills and in-ears and or regular monitors, no in-ears, and Marshalls and big cabinets, and pretty much early onset deafness.
Yeah, I was going to say you deaf now. I know most musicians from that time period now are a bit deaf. There's something that does come with the loudness of being on the stage for so long.
I learned very early on to start wearing earplugs. And what my earplugs were, to be honest with you, they were in-ear monitors, but I took the wires out because I had a very early set of in-ear monitors, but I didn't know how to use them. I didn't want to use them. I wanted to feel the music. And so I used to use them as earplugs, and then I would just have them crank the monitors and the side fills. It did a little bit of good because I can hear relatively okay still, but it's definitely had some effect over the years. And now using in-ear monitors and really controlling the sound this last decade, I've been able to prolong my hearing, I think, by at least a few more tours. So fingers crossed.
That's good. Yeah, you can always do the Brian Johnson thing if it gets too bad, and you can get the.
Yeah, nobody wants to get to the point where you have to get your ears surgically worked on so that you can just hear sounds. I know that we met Huey Lewis from Huey Lewis and the News, that band, and he's had the same sort of thing. He had the same issues where it's really hard for him to hear music and stuff anymore, which is sad. I never want to not be able to hear the stuff that's coming out of our amps and stuff. So again, I'm just sitting here in the studio now getting ready for this next leg of the tour and working on a bunch of my own stuff right now. So I need my ears. Definitely need my ears.
Definitely, yeah. So you're back doing your own solo stuff now, are you? You're because you've done a lot of that in the past, but have you had a bit of a break from doing that? Obviously, Alice.
Well, I mean, the break was a lot of the what happened was the move. I just moving not just countries, continents, and just getting everything set up here. It took a long time and a while to get the studio set up, and we have it all set up now so that I can record my ideas. And then basically how recording works for me now in South Africa is that I can send my tracks over to, let's say it's Robbie Miller, a producer that I work with in Canada, or someone in Sweden. I can send my tracks outside, and then we all compile them there. The last couple tracks, I think Trent, the drummer that I've been using for a couple of these tracks, he's living in, I think he's living somewhere in Illinois or somewhere in the States, in the Midwest. And, then we had some guest piano that came from the UK, and everything gets sent up to Canada, gets mixed, and then it gets, we do live mixing sessions. So it's become a cool process of being able to record the stuff in your own world, in your own studio where you're comfortable with it, but then you collaborate with all these other musicians with their technology. And this is one of those instances where I think technology is the reason why I'm going to be able to put out new music in this next year.
Yeah, that's really interesting because there's a lot of downsides to technology.
Technology is taking over, brain dead generation.
But I myself, because I do my own music, but online mainly. I do perform a little bit, but I work with people, like you say, in mostly America. I've got someone in Las Vegas and someone somewhere else, Carmine in Las Vegas, and Sophia somewhere else in America. She's lived a few places, but it's crazy how you can get together with these people, and make music together, and kind of, it is quite a fun process to have someone, the other side of the world. I'm a bit closer now to America, but
I'm always from the old school where if we can get into a room and just hash things out like we did with the last Alice Cooper album, Road. That's very cool because the whole band was all in the same studio. Alice was was there with us singing all the basic tracks. We were there playing through the drum tracks and getting everything in one room. That was a great vibe. And it's very rare that you're able to do that these days. But just geographically for me, living in South Africa, I haven't really found my whole circle of musicians here, so I rely on the musicians that I've known for over the years and met over the years and interviewed through the podcast as well, and all the connections that I've been able to make being in the trenches of rock and roll for as long as I have with Alice Cooper and the other bands that I've played with, getting to use those contacts and relationships and great musicians to contribute to my music as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Like you say, you can't beat getting in the studio and jamming with your amigos and having fun with it. But it's it's cool. You can have the options if you do live far away and or you're the other side of the world from people. You can still make good music together and kind of
look. I'm not going to ever bag on technology if technology allows me to release music out to people that want to hear it.
Yeah. I want to go back very briefly to Fistful of Alice because there was something I wanted to ask. Obviously there was the song "Is Anyone Home" on that album, which I love that song, fantastic song. I don't hear it talked about that much, but it's such an amazing song, and I'm guessing
it was a studio track that was recorded, and I think Alice put the vocals on during that first tour that I was on with him. I think we were touring with the Scorpions in '96. That was my first sort of taste of really big touring with Alice, is being able to play with the Scorpions. And it's kind of cool for full circle. This year I saw already dates on the tour schedule with Scorpions. So that'll be fun to hang out with them again and cool. But that track, oddly enough, the drums were played by Matt Logg, who I did not know, but years later, I ended up being in a band with him. So, at that time, I had not known who Matt Logg was, but I had heard that Alice had some studio musicians, and the record company wanted to put one studio album or one studio song out on that record. So they put that song out, and Matt played the drums, and I eventually ended up playing in a band called Slash's Snake Pit with Matt years later. And now, big shout out to Matt Logg right now because he's the drummer in AC/DC.
That's a good gig. Yeah,
that's the understatement of the year. Yeah, definitely. It's a good gig.
It's a good gig.
But I got a good gig too, so I'm happy. I'm happy
you
as
are
well.
lucky. Definitely.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk a bit about your Glam Nation. How was that whole thing? Was that quite a fun time? You were covering songs which I guess you grew up with and you loved, and kind of.
Yeah, Glam Nation happened in the summer of somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s. The you know Glam Nation was born out of pure survival, because at the time I was playing with Slash's Snake Pit with Matlog, and we were hitting it pretty hard. We would hit the studio every single day. The studio happened to be Slash's house, but rehearse and record all day. But then, afterwards, you'd want to hang out and have a couple drinks and blah, blah, blah. And one thing led to another. And then so many of those nights turned into mornings that I thought, you know what? I need to form a band that maybe keeps me away a couple days a week, and not hitting it too hard, and working on the just work on having some fun and doing something that we really liked, like playing music that was really influential for us, but do it with the whole kitchen sink. Go with the fake accents, go with the costumes, go with the whole theme to every song. So we started this 70s glam band called Glam Nation. And what we would do is, early 70s glam was pretty much our playlist. We had songs from Alice Cooper, early Alice Cooper songs, The Sweet, Mark Bolan, T-Rex, David Bowie. We even kind of bridged it out a little bit and widened the spectrum, because what we consider Nick Gilder, Hot Child in the City, that's a great glam song. So we put that in there. The Runaways by, we do Cherry Bomb, or maybe even ABBA. What's the song? SOS. It's one of my favorite songs ever been written. SOS I think it's structurally one of the best songs ever out there, created. But so we would just put all these songs together, and then we'd have a theme. And at that point, we'd all used a different alias, a different name. I think my name was Peter Kensington. We all took our middle name and then some name after that. Eric Dover was the singer in that band. I sang a couple songs, but Eric Dover, his name was Doyle Harris, he was just incredible, because he went all in on the character as well, because we were characters at the end of the day. We had fake British accents, and they were really cheesy British accents. The bassist was my buddy Stefan Adika, who his name was Yashia. And then we had Eric Singer, who was the drummer. I was playing with him in Alice Cooper at the time. He also, his name, what was his? Doyle Harris. That was his alias name, or his Glam Nation name. And then we had two keyboard players. There's a little bit Spinal Tap in the sense that, we had a revolving door with the keyboard players. It's usually with Spinal Tap, it was the drummers. But we had Teddy Zigzag. I think it was Dr. Midnight. And then we also had Derek Sherinian on the keyboards for a short time as Nicky Lemons. It wasn't a short time. I think it was between Derek Sherinian and Teddy Zigzag, Dr. Midnight, and Nicky Lemons. They kind of split the time in the band. And then we had guest guys coming up. Slim Jim Phantom was a drummer for us for one show. I remember a couple shows in New York, a couple Halloween shows in LA. When I was at Gilby Clarke would come up as a guest appearance, and we all had these. It would always be some sort of what's tonight's theme, and one night we adopted a love child from Bolivia because we had gone on sabbatical, but our love child was addicted to cocaine, and and then the little baby had brought back a big a big pillowcase of drugs, but it ended up being just like, it wasn't real drugs. They hit flour over this pillowcase on the baby, and then the whole stage ended up being feathers, flowers, and bubble machines, and pretty much mayhem. That's a Glam Nation show. If you can find a Glam Nation show on YouTube, it's a real treat, because this was honestly right before social media as well. So the only time I saw people filming was, they had one of those old school VHS recorders or something like that. But there's got to be one or two really cool Glam Nation shows out there on YouTube, or someone's got to have it somewhere.
Yeah, someone has got to be knocking about somewhere. If you're watching, someone who's got it, get it, stick it on YouTube with Ryan's permission.
No, just send it to me so I'll put it up on my channel, whatever. If you have something old, like I said, we did some cool gigs with Glam Nation. We actually did this one club. What the hell was it called? It was a very glam LA club, Plastic something. We reenacted the Rod Stewart stomach pumping urban legend incident. And now, if that means nothing to you, then you obviously are very too young to understand. But if you know the urban legend of Rod Stewart getting his stomach pumped, I think years later it changed to Bon Jovi, and it's probably now the lead singer of, Palais Royale. It's probably moved on to somebody else. But Rod Stewart got his stomach pumped, and for reasons of being overly sexual, and that's all I'll tell you. Just look up Rod Stewart urban legend. Glam Nation reenacted it on stage, and we won no Academy Awards for it. I'll tell you that.
It's one of those Mark Ullman kind of story type things. I've heard a few.
Mark Ullman. There you go. That's probably someone that the urban legend would definitely lay on to him.
Yeah, there you go. I think I'm on the same page now. And with the Glam Nation, did the band, most of the members become the touring band with Alice? I was reading somewhere with the...
Well, I mean, yeah, eventually, basically Eric Singer, the drummer, and then we kind of recruited Eric Dover from that, and Eric Dover became a touring guitar player, one of my favorite touring guitar players to play with Alice over the years. He's just such a talented guy. And then I did play shows with Derek Sherinian and Alice, as well as Teddy Zigzag. So, yeah.
Great. And, of course, I want to get on to two albums which, made me such a big fan of you. I love the Dragontown and Brutal Planet. They're one of my two favorite Alice albums, and I just love how dark they are. I think they've got to be Alice's darkest kind of stuff there, and just heaviest. And I just... amazed by those albums.
Definitely the lowest tunings, as far as if you're into alternative tunings and stuff. Pretty much every song on Brutal Planet is either drop D, and then with Dragontown we even went even lower, even down to C standard, maybe even lower than that. It was some really floppy strings, I'll tell you, during the recording of those albums. That was an era, Alice tends to make albums in twos, if you think about it. If you think about, for instance, Eyes of Alice Cooper and Dirty Diamonds, they both have a little bit of a garage type of feel. Brutal Planet and Dragontown had that sort of industrial vibe, and that was, I believe, Bob Marlette produced that, and he was in a groove. He was producing a lot of bands, and he definitely had his sound working, and he put his stamp on those songs with Alice. I was lucky enough to play on both those albums, but there are a lot of this other guitar parts on that album that was recorded that I did not play. And I've since got to meet the musicians. I've had them on my podcast, one of them being Phil X. So I actually learned Phil X's lead to the lead track, Brutal Planet. That's Phil's lead on there, and everyone thinks it's my lead, but I'm giving props where props are due. That's all Phil X right there. And he did great.
Fair play to you. And you get into the details of it. Do you remember the specifics on some of those songs on those albums, what you did, some things you can tell us you did do, so we know, because you don't often know, really. You try and hear it and things, but...
One of my favorite solos, I think, on either of those albums, and you'll know this better than I, is it "Take It Like a Woman"? Is that the name of the ballad?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that Brutal, or is that Dragon?
I think that's brutal. That one, I think.
Okay, it's one of my favorite guitar solos, and that's all me. So I will take
That is,
a big
yeah,
credit for it, and
that is a good one.
I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah,
proud of it. Worked it out in my head, kind of like tried to tell a little bit of a story within the amount of bars of music that I was allowed to play on the solo, and I mean that's always been my sort of um, that's been sort of my game plan for approaching a guitar solo is like you try to write a little story in this part of the song that's going to help the song out, but the solo should have a beginning, a middle, and an end, hopefully ending with on a hopeful note, if you will. And like I said, even if it's just 8 bars or 16 bars, you can better a song if you actually write a solo. And the master of that, I think, is uh the guitar player from the band The Cars, Elliot Easton. He was a master at like taking a guitar solo and just writing a little story about it. Or Steve Stevens, for instance, another big influence of mine from Billy Idol's band. His solos are I'll tell little stories, and if you can achieve that, then I think you've done your part as a guitar player and you've improved a song.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Steve Stevens, fantastic guitar player. He's another one. I love watching his acoustic stuff with Billy Idol and seeing him shred on the acoustic. It's quite impressive.
Yeah, he actually I went to his apartment one time in Los Angeles, and he played for me before it was ever released. He played for me his flamenco stuff. And I mean, if you go listen to it now, it's incredible. But this is when he was just first recording it, and it sounded so damn good. And I was like, man, I mean, I had respect for you before, Steve, but now he's taking it up to another level. And he's
Well,
still
yeah,
there. He's still there. I still think that Billy Idol and Alice Cooper would be one hell of a tour.
definitely, definitely. That is,
Just
yeah.
saying.
Put it out there to the universe. Then, yeah, come round.
Always.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. And Take It Like a Woman, going back to that, that is, yeah, such a beautiful song. And I feel kind of a follow on from Only Women Bleed. It's got that same kind of energy and message.
Exactly.
Song.
Had a little bit. I think they were going for that vibe because they knew that Alice already had Only Women Bleed. Um I wouldn't mind, peppering that somewhere into the set as a little nod for the hardcores.
Definitely, definitely. I think you should. Yeah, I love watching that Brutally live tour. All the clips on YouTube and stuff. It's great to watch it and Pick Up the Bones. Another fantastic song.
Oh yeah.
Alice's lyrics, just fantastic. The lyrics throughout those albums as well. Very real things he's singing about, and it's all about hell on earth. I think, particularly Dragon.
Pretty much timeless, because you could release that same sort of subject matter in today's world, and I think there would probably be a lot of people that would agree with the brutal planet we are currently living in.
Definitely, yeah. The world has definitely went in a certain direction, and it's down, I think. But we got to keep our spirits high with music and stuff.
That's ultimately that's the reason why we still get to tour, and knock on wood, is because we can provide maybe 2-3 hours of a distraction from all the shit.
Exactly.
We can go out there and we can jump around, entertain, hopefully play some songs that brings people back to a better place. Not saying that it's not important to do Brutal Planet. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Brutal Planet doesn't might see it on the set list sometime this year. You never know, when the new show comes out. So it's important to have those types of songs, but it's also important to, give people what they want, which is entertainment and maybe just a break from the 24-hour doom cycle that we seem to be in.
Exactly. Yeah. I think music's the best therapy, and it kind of, it keeps your brain in a good place, keeps your head in a good headspace. And yeah, I'm glad you continue to do it. You know, Alice has toured for so many years now. It's great to see you still doing it. And obviously, like you say, you're on the road with Priest soon. Hopefully, you never know, you might get together on the stage to sing a song together or something. I know that can happen sometimes. So it'd be cool to see Rob.
We love, I mean, Rob Halford, the last time we played a show together, walked right in our dressing room, said hello to all of us, knows all of us by name. Of course, we know him by the posters on the wall and, all the album covers. But he's just one of those sweet guys, very gentle, sweet soul. Had him on the podcast, was a great interview. All the guys, I mean, in fact, in the band are very cool, and I look forward to touring with them, this year.
Yeah, fantastic. No, they're great guys. Rob is a great guy. I've met him many times as well. In fact, he's the one who called me Metal Matt, which is like my little claim to fame.
Yeah, I know we have that show at the O2 Arena, so fingers crossed we can turn it into more and see what happens.
If I was in England, no hesitation, I'd be buying that ticket and going to the show. But yeah.
Well, if we play Cancun, I'll definitely hook you up, and I'll definitely go visit you at your cabana or wherever the hell you stay there.
The wife will make some tacos for you if you're
perfect.
We'd do a deal. But yeah, that'd be great. Not many bands come around Cancun, strangely. I think seems to be Monterey and Mexico City quite a lot. But yeah, Cancun, I'm not seeing much here yet. I'm hoping the metal. I'm trying to bring the metal here myself. You
bring them to Cancun. I'm going to try and start bringing the bands to Cape Town. How about that?
There you go. Yeah, do it. I think that's a good thing. This music, heavy metal and rock, it resonates everywhere around the world. There's
fans. There's definitely fans.
Yeah, and there's so much passion. I mean, the kind of South America, I think, probably the most passion you'll see for any bands. They really go crazy for it. I've seen it myself. Just the passion is great. Very passionate people out here, and yeah, hopefully you'll get around. I don't know. Are you playing any Mexico dates with Alice?
Is there anything that's been released? I think there's a South American date that's got announced. So I know it's not Mexico, but there was a South American date that got a festival that we're doing, and I believe that's sometime in June. So you never know if they package stuff around it. You know what? Just keep on bothering, keep on the boards. If you're watching somewhere from Mexico and you're watching it right now and you want to see Alice in Mexico, that we'd love to come. So just, get on the boards, get on the chats, and just start, asking for Alice, because they listen. They actually do. They keep tabs on who wants to see Alice. And I think at this point in Alice's career, everybody should want to go see the Alice Cooper show at least one more time. And it always surprises me. There's always a few people that have never seen Alice before the show that I meet them at, and they're like, I had never seen Alice before. I'm like, well, I'm glad you did now, because this is a very cool time to see Alice. Obviously, we'd all like to see Alice Cooper back in 1975 on the Welcome to My Nightmare tour. That is the dream for all of us in the band as well. But we do our damn best to recreate the spirit of the music and all the songs that he's had since then, up until today. We try to keep it fresh in the same spirit, and we do it with as much energy as we can. So I'm really happy with the energy of this lineup, this band. I don't have to tell you who's in the band, but we all know Chuck, Garrick, and Glenn Sobel are holding down the rhythm section. My left-hand man, I call him Tommy Hendrickson on the guitar, and myself on the stage right. He's on stage left, and then Nita Strauss on the guitar as well. And then, of course, we're a cover band with the original singer. How about that?
Exactly. No, you are all killing it. Alice is killing it. You're killing it. What I've loved is you're so tight. You're such a tight band, and you do nail the music. There's no fault there at all. You play it note for note, and
I always try to play it in the spirit which is recorded, which means every couple of years go back and listen to the original recordings and go, okay, what have I moved away from a little bit? Because, a band will do that. There's no doubt. Even if you go see the Eagles right now, or they'll play certain versions of their song a little bit different than they had perhaps when they first recorded. Case in point, I just went and saw Styx. We did this Rock of Legends cruise. There you go. Shameless plug for Rocks of Legends. I have no reason to plug them. The fucking cruise is over, but it was a really fun. It was a fun cruise, and I got this water cup out of it. So
that's good, right? You didn't need paying.
Yeah. But anyway, I went to go see Styx, and I loved them. They put on a great show. I just, some of their songs, they have a different arrangements than what they play than when it was recorded. And I think it is important, every couple of years just to revisit the original recordings, because that's what most people hear are those original. And then when they come to see it live, if you put a little flavor, a little of your own stamp on it, that's awesome. But do your best to those key elements of a song, to nail them as closely as you can, to the originals. And that's why I try to play the opening of Schools Out just like the way Michael, Bruce, or Glenn would have done that, or a swanky solo at 18 or something. Yes, I'll put a little bit of my style on it, but I also try to, never forget the guys that allow us to still be touring today, which is that original band.
Totally. No, that's really smart. And, I think that's, really good advice, because I think, like you say, it's so easy to go away from something when you're playing it a lot. And it's hard to kind of sometimes create that same sound, but you put the time in to kind of study it. And I think that's what makes it so good, is obviously it's got a nostalgic feel for the very old fans who are coming along, who want to hear that album, be it $1 Billion Babies or whatever, with that great guitar sound. And if you can kind of create a bit of that nostalgia and bring something fresh as well, it's kind of it's a cool thing. And I highly recommend Alice. It was my first ever show, and if you haven't seen Alice, it's definitely a show you got to see. It's definitely the best shows I've ever seen. And I remember the first show, he was looking at me right in the eyes. I was front row, and that stuck with me, and you just remember Alice looking at you and just like, wow, that's, it's crazy. It's like, wow, Alice looked at me, It's just like, he's very intense.
Yeah, he's got, when that's the thing, when Alice is on stage, he becomes Alice. He's not the same Alice as when he's backstage or after the show, when we're playing, poker on the bus and stuff. He's a different character. He really gets into being Alice. Not that he's a different person completely, because Alice is Alice. I mean, and people should never try to say, oh, well, I know him as Vince. No, you don't know him as Vince. His wife knows him as Alice. His kids know him as Alice. I know him as Alice. He's always going to be Alice. It's just that when he gets on stage, he's Alice fucking Cooper.
Exactly.
And it is intense, and it is a vibe. And you got to watch yourself, because at that point, if he stabbed you, it wasn't Alice stabbing you. It was Alice Cooper stabbing you. And he didn't mean to do it. It's just that you were in his way from popping a balloon.
Exactly. Yeah, must be quite scary sometimes.
I mean, there's always some sort of cold, something that you have to watch out for on that stage, because there's things flying all over the place. There's, he'll take a knife and he'll just throw it on the stage. But if you're jumping around on the stage, you don't want to step on a knife, and you don't want to, and then the bubble it sounds harmless and it sounds completely innocuous, but the bubble machine is taking down more people than the friggin' swords.
Really?
Because the bubbles are made out of soap and this liquid, and they pop. They hit the ground, they pop, right? So what's left? This little slippery, like glass-like residue that has taken out Nita. She's fallen. taken out Cheryl, she's fallen because of it. Taken out me, I've slipped and almost just completely ate it off stage. So the bubble machine is much more dangerous than the swords.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Who needs a
Something
guillotine
you
when you got
probably didn't expect to
bubbles?
hear.
Yeah, that's crazy. And yeah, obviously, Alice, like you say, is so good at getting into character. It's incredible how he can become that person. I think that's what everybody loves with Alice, just how he can totally transform, on that stage and kind of turn into that person. I think that's something a very unique thing to him. There's not many artists who can totally, absorb that character. And obviously, going back to albums like From the Inside and stuff, he totally got into the mind of the characters he was singing about. And it's been a running theme. And as a big horror fan that he is, I think he's incorporated that, throughout his career and all the songs and lyrics. And yeah, together it's really creates something unique. So it's great music, and I'm glad you've been out there. Obviously, Kane Roberts was back in the band. I love his stuff on Raise Your Fist and Yell and Constrictor. Amazing beast of a guitar player, and great songs, great period that period of time that he was in the band originally, and it must have been great having him back. How was that whole thing?
I feel so lucky to have been able to tour with Kane, because ever since I joined the band in '96, it was he was the most recognizable guitar player of all the guitar players that Alice has had over the years. He's the muscle guy, he's the Rambo, he's the monster. And it was Kane Roberts, and people would come up to me and say, are you the muscle guy? And I'm like, do I look like the muscle guy? I was like a skinny little blonde dreadlocks, and I was not the muscle guy. But years later, after hearing Kane's name around the camp for so long, we were lucky enough to tour together, and I still have a very special place in my heart for Kane, and I know he has it for us as well. So it's always a pleasure if he can come up, for any time that he can guest on up there with us, or you never know. Never count Kane Roberts out. He'll surprise you when you least expect it.
That's it. Yeah. I'm waiting for a bit of chop, chop, chop to be added to the set list. that'd be
getting deep. That's getting deep cuts now. All right,
you're
getting a little too deep on those cuts.
Might be a little bit. Yeah, it was great just to see the clips of him back performing with you guys, and you seem to all have a great chemistry together. And hearing some of those songs, "Freedom" again, and things like that, it was just great to watch. So,
to actually play those '80s songs with the guy that wrote them, and was part of that whole era. It was really cool. And I know that Alice and Kane have such a long history that they were kind of like, two brothers. I look at Alice as like my older brother, but they were like kind of like the same brother. They're, they went through that '80s success. They shared it together. But I look more of Alice as a mentor and a guy that's taught me so much about music, so much about the music business, and even more about how to enjoy life when you're in the music business. And I think he does as good a job as anyone can in enjoying life and making the best decisions of being in this rock and roll business, which can be quite tumultuous at times.
Yeah. He certainly seems to have a good balance of his normal life and his on-stage life, which I think is important. Obviously his family's very important to him and all these things, and he's a very I guess I could never say normal with Alice, but he seems off stage he can be just a family man that he is.
Yeah, well, he's true with that. He talks about it in interviews, and he holds true to it in real life. We have a very family oriented vibe. It's great when my wife comes out on the road and she can hang on the bus for a week or two, or when my son comes out with me on the road. I haven't had my daughter out on the road with me for a while, but they've come to a lot of shows, and my son's been out on the road with me a couple times now. So everyone's very welcoming. Alice's wife is in the show, Cheryl. She's in the show. Calico's also in the show. She comes out multiple times tour, because she comes back to save the day a few times last year when we were on tour, and Cheryl got hurt doing at one of the shows, and she had to take it easy. She couldn't do full on what she does, so she had to sort of recuperate for a little while, and she got better. But during that interim, Calico came in as the hero and saved the day. So Alice is a very he's a really, how do you say, the best way to say it, honest, sincere, those are all things. He's true. He's a true guy. And I think that's why people can see he's authentic, and people can see that, and kind of drives us to be the same way. So, we're not angels, and no one is perfect, but we do our best. And I think what we do best is entertain on stage, and that's basically our job. And that's why Alice hires us, and that's why we are, again, lucky enough to continue to go out. And I look forward to seeing you guys when we come out there this year.
Yeah,
because I'm going to go back and start writing my songs pretty soon, because I'll show you right now. I got my
no worries.
But so anyway, this is going to be my world for at least a little while, until we kick out and start these long tours. So whenever you release this, we should be out there on the road by that time, or if not, very shortly thereafter. If you ever want to find out anything about me and my world, RyanRoxie.com for all of you that have any interest or are curious. And if you're curious about playing guitar, I've got a whole system for that too. So,
Brilliant. That's
what do you play? What do you play, Matt?
Well, I sing, but I do play a bit of guitar. I've got my guitar over. No, it's here actually, but it's not. It's out of tune. It's one of these awful little flamenco things. It's the only thing I could get over here. But I used to play Desperado, but I don't know if I can remember it now. But don't know if I play it right or not. But
yeah, what key do you do it in?
This is in E, I think, but I don't know. This guitar goes out of tune very quickly.
It's close. I know it.
Yeah, close.
We haven't played that song in a long time.
Yeah.
But
I gotta get out.
Very cool. Yeah, no, I sing mostly these days. I used to play guitar, but then I thought, well, I kind of discovered my voice a bit more, and I thought, well, I'm going to go fully into singing. So most of my life I've been singing now, but it's something I love, and Alice is always a big inspiration, and Priest, they're my two biggest influences. I like to scream, I like the kind of Holford scream style. And also a bit of rock kind of edge, Alice Cooper type vocals. But yeah, it's a fun thing to explore and kind of
carry the torch and create your own world down in Cancun and spread the metal.
I am. Yeah, I do. I do a gig on a Friday out here at the moment, playing at a bar, just playing all my favourite kind of tunes, bit of Alice, bit of Priest, some 80s pop and stuff. So it's good fun. It's a good place to be, just to rock out and enjoy. And I was going to say, is there any, before you go, is there any more Alice riffs you could jam very quickly?
Well, it is the acoustic guitar, so it's kind of, not
True.
So easy to play Alice Cooper ones.
True.
But I know it?
I think so. Yeah, you got it.
Wait. Wow. Again, that was like
nice.
that stuff that's like way back in the in the cerebral.
Memory
I
bank.
think I don't even think it's I don't even think it's in my brain anymore. It's somewhere in my spine that you
Yeah.
remember those songs. And again, like maybe a song like that, an old school Halo of Flies, is something that maybe should be brought back at one point.
Yeah. No, that's
You know,
very
before,
cool.
at least before Alice stops touring, maybe one more Halo of Flies round would be fun to do.
It would be good. Yeah. I'm not going to keep getting you to play stuff, but could I hear a bit of Only Women Bleed? It's one of my
Oh,
favorite
that's a good one
tracks.
for acoustic, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Man got his woman to take his seat. He got the power on, she got the need to ask him. He smokes and drinks and don't come home at all.
Ooh, only women bleed.
Only women bleed. Only women bleed.
Very beautiful. And
There you go, folks. That's
there
it.
you go. Thank you very much. And I had a couple of messages from some people you might know. Calico Cooper just wanted to say shame. Does that mean something to you?
Shame. Yes,
Yeah.
it's shame. That is, there's a lot of shame that goes on in our poker games. And if you don't put your money in, or you forget to put your money in, or you kind of try to delay putting your money in the pot, you get shamed. So that's where that comes from. Or it just comes from all, overall, there's just basically a lot of shame on the road.
Oh no, that's great. And I had a good chat with my pal Satchel the other day, and he just wanted to say, I've got the message here. He said we golfed together, and it was a blast. Do you remember golfing with Satchel?
Oh yeah, he's a good golfer.
Yeah, he said. Sorry,
both him and both Satchel and Sticks it in ya. Both Satchel and Sticks are great golfers. Alice was so impressed with the way they golfed. He wanted to take them on the road just to be golf buddies. I mean, he loves the band, but he also wants to take them on to be golf buddies. So that would be another tour that would be insanely fun.
Yeah,
I think,
Steel Panther, yeah, they're one of the most fun bands out there, and obviously Satchel, amazing player. But he wanted to say to you, he said he's rad. Say hi from me. Great guitar player too. So there you go. That's from Satchel there.
You know what? Satchel is actually, talk about giving credit back. That guy is insanely good guitar player, and he's so good at playing guitar that if you go back and check out who's the guy that in Mr. Big.
Paul Gilbert, was it?
If you go check out Paul Gilbert's first guitar video, first one that he ever put out, like that shows you all these little exercises and stuff of how to become a shredder, you'll see Satchel playing bass.
Yeah, I've seen that. And
you seen that? All right, there you go.
Yeah.
So he's such a good guitar player that he plays bass.
Exactly. No, he's crazy. He's right out there. He's incredible player.
And usually it's the other way around. Usually it's like you're not such a great guitar player, so you play bass.
Yeah, that's usually.
Oh God, the bass players are going nuts right now.
They are. They're not
honestly, I think there's something to be said about a driving bass player. I'm actually trying to write a song right now that could use a really good bass player, because I'm just doing my.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool too. But like all downstrokes, there's something to be there's something to be said about those bass players out there that just hammer it with all the downstrokes. So
Yeah, exactly. But that's very cool. And
if you play
it's fun.
bass like that, you give me a call and I'll put you in my band.
Yeah, well, I might know a guy on the subject of Sato. Obviously, he played with Fight as well with Rob Holford for a while. He was in the Fight band, and I recently did a project with JJ, who was also in the Fight band, the bassist of Fight, and he's got a very cool. I was discussing with him the other day that I love his sound because the bass is so up there. It's not just in the background. It's like you can hear it. It's proper nice sounding bass. And yeah, he's a really cool one. We did cover a Devil's Child the other day, which was cool.
Oh,
so.
Nice.
It might be worth calling him up. He's when
it all comes down to it, though, Dennis Dunaway, one of the best bass players of all time. I mean, I know I razz some bass players from time to time, say the whole quote bass is bass, but you get guys like Dennis Dunaway, just recorded all those classic songs, and it's such a unique style. It's amazing. And whenever I do see, like night after night, I get to play next to Chuck, and Chuck is just, straight ahead, lays it down, would want to be, he plays guitar with Beasto, but, I know him as my bass player for so many years of playing with him as well. And he plays great guitar as well. But I mean, like I said, I'm more that guy that just likes to, I play bass like I play guitar, all downstrokes. So, you know what, all that stuff I said about bass players earlier, disregard it. I love you, bass players. And if you play all downstrokes again, give me a call. But I'm going to go back to recording now. I'll see you guys, the rest of you. I'll see you somewhere out on the tour. And if you aren't following on Instagram already, go check out Instagram. All the links are at ryanroxie.com. So pretty easy to find me.
Yeah, check it all out. And so you got new music coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled, guys.
The new music is going to be only for, I'm releasing it first off only for the All Accessors. And if you're interested in the All Access group, it's kind of like a niche sort of inner circle of the RGA. And what is the RGA? The RGA is the Roxie Guitar Army. And that's pretty much which is on my public channel. I call anybody that follows me on my regular Instagram part of the Roxie Guitar Army. But if you want to be part of an all accessor, there's links to that as well. And I release new music to them. I do private live streams as well. I do guitar lessons. All those types of stuff. The podcast, you get episodes that come out before, or without anybody else that have seen them. So there's a lot of special stuff that happens if you're an all accessor. So check it out if you'd enjoyed this interview, and just know that I'll be here in the studio practicing and recording, and hopefully coming up with some new bass riffs.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, Ryan. On the road with Alice, is it 22nd of March? Around that time.
That's probably that's the next one-off show that we're doing in Arizona, and then we start up again at the end of April. And then just make hopefully all through the end of the year. So fingers crossed, everything works good.
Thanks for your time, Ryan.
You got it.
And the best thing I can say to a guy like Metal Matt is, whatever you do, don't rust.
Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he is totally naked from the waist down.